Hey Sedum, welcome back to week 2, episode 2. All right, Sedum, so yesterday we got to talk about Beth Morceau. She was the French Impressionist artist and one of the very few female artists. Today we're going to talk about another French Impressionist called Claude Monet. Claude Monet was born in Paris, France, November 14th, 1840. Now, Claude Monet was practically the leader of the French Impressionist movement. He practically established it. Claude Monet was mostly well known for painting outside in his very own garden. And in French, when you go outside and you paint outside, you say, I'm painting in plein air, just means in open air. Claude Monet didn't just do water lilies though. He also did some seascapes. He did various landscapes and also portraits. All right, in just a moment, I'm gonna switch the screen and we're gonna get to look at some of those water lily paintings, also a seascape, another landscape, and then also a portrait. Don't forget, during this time, we can pretend like we're doing a table talk and share out like we're in the classroom.
Here we have a self-portrait of Claude Monet. In the next picture, we have Monet's Japanese bridge, which was in his garden. This is an actual photograph of the bridge Monet used to paint. Here's that same bridge, but from a different angle painted by Monet. And beneath that bridge, here we see Monet's water lilies. Here's a huge painting of Monet's lilies in a museum in Paris. This painting was made in Monet's studio, and here's another picture from another angle from the museum. Haystacks in the afternoon, a landscape. Notice the sunset. Here's a painting that Monet was inspired by Turner. Also, here's a seascape, impression at sunrise. Notice the sun. Here's a portrait of Monet's wife and son.
Hey Sedum, all right, so we got to see a lot from Monet, right? I think that we got to see a seascape, we got to see a landscape, we saw a portrait, and we got to see Monet's garden with all his water lilies and the Japanese bridge also, the different views of the Japanese bridge. And then we also got to see Monet in his actual studio making that huge installation of his lilies. And then we got to see some student work too, some students that were also inspired. And we also got to see that artist Turner, who Monet was also inspired by. I'm kind of curious if some of y'all remember that term that I told you in the beginning of the video that means when you're painting outside. Does anybody remember that? Monet, all of his paintings were painted outside. And so when you say, I'm gonna go paint outside, in French you would say, in plein air. All right, Sedum, so this brings us to the end of the video. I hope you really enjoyed looking at more artwork from the Impressionistic era and seeing more artwork from Claude Monet as he paints in plein air. And don't forget, on Saturday, your art exit ticket is due. I'll see y'all tomorrow, Sedum. Have an amazing day. Bye.